Hello, all. So I wanted to come on and talk to you all a little bit about the Eppp. So I just took the test today. I passed it. And so that was I'm just, first of all, thank God. Thank you, God, for allowing me to have all the tools at my disposal to pass this exam. It is by the grace of God that I passed this test. I started, so let me just tell you a little bit about my Eppp journey up to this point. So it's January 6th, 2025. I started tentatively studying on and off March of 2024. March of 2024, I would study on and off, study sporadically, would study for a day, then I wouldn't study for a week, and then I would study a couple days, and then I wouldn't for 2 weeks. And so that's kind of how it was going. And I would say I did that up until about July. I took a trip. I went to Japan and Thailand in June of 2024. And then I got back, and so I would say that I probably started studying late June, early July. I was really actually studying pretty consistently. And I remember taking a practice exam and about, I want to say, early August. I took a practice exam and did not do well at all. Now, this wasn't a full practice exam. I think it was the online, it was the PEPO, which is like the online practice, which is like the online Eppp, the ASPPB offers. So you can kind of get familiar with the test structure and all of that stuff. So I took the PEPO. I want to say August or so, got like a 30 something percent. And I was really surprised. I did not realize when taking the Eppp that it was so involved. I come from a school psychology program. So initially, when I was in the program, it wasn't a dual licensure program. I was approached by my supervisor. She asked me would I be interested in doing a dual licensure internship, and so that's kind of how I got into that. So I don't come from a clinical psychology program. I don't come from a counseling psychology program. A lot of the information on this test was very much new to me. So um, I had to learn a lot. I then, I would say in September, I kept studying and studying and studying. I was writing down all this information. I was taking to all of these different websites and all of this stuff. And I was doing all this studying. And then I took another practice test and did literally the exact same. I got 35% on it. And so I was like, I don't know what's going on here. I didn't realize how involved this test is. And the thing about it is that even the stuff that I was studying that was relevant to the test, not it was still not the aspect of it that I was supposed to be studying. Like I would study parts of the brain, but then those parts of the brain didn't really have anything to do with the exam. Or if it did have something to do with the exam, the part of the brain that I was studying that was a part of the exam, it still wasn't studying the aspect of the part of the brain that was going to be on the exam. So it was just ridiculous. I was just like, how am I going to pass this test? Now, I understood at that point that a lot of people were using different test prep companies. And so that's something that at first I didn't want to do. I didn't think that I needed to do it because I didn't know how involved the Eppp was. Now, this is coming from someone, I've taken the National Counselor examination, passed on the first time, took the school psych praxis exam, passed on the first time. And so that's why I kind of I didn't know how involved the Eppp was, because I thought it was going to be similar to those tests. The Eppp is a totally different test entirely from the school psych praxis and from the NCE. It's a totally different kind of test. The Eppp involves stuff that you're never going to utilize as a psychologist, especially if you're working in like a clinical or counseling setting. You're never gonna learn about some of this stuff. Different types of social psychology things and different types of biases and all of this stuff, things that have nothing to do with your practice. You're going to learn about those things for the test. You're going to need those for this test. So, what I will say is that there are aspects of the test that are useful. So I'm not going to say that this test is just full of a bunch of stuff that you're never going to use. There are some aspects of it that you will use, but there are aspects of it that you will not. And so, anyway, I joined Prepjet in October. I joined Prepjet October 4th of 2024. I took my first exam, my first practice exam that day. Again, literally consistently, my scores were consistent. Got a 34% on the full practice exam. And so Prepjet, they do a really good job of outlining what you're supposed to do in terms of a study plan, what modules you're supposed to study, and in the order that you're supposed to study those modules. It's the Big Six. You can look up prepjet.net, and it'll tell you what the Big Six is and all of that stuff. By the way, they have some free seminars. Prepjet has free seminars and stuff like that. So I would recommend getting on prepjet.net and checking those out. It's a really good service. And it's a really good service for the cost as well. I don't know the exact cost, but I do know that they have discounts at certain times and stuff like that. I believe it was around $400 and some odd dollars or something like that for the 4-month subscription. It was $400, close to $500. It may have been $500, something around there. And so I joined Prepjet, took my first test on October 4th, 2024. They say that you can do this in about 3 months. The president of Prepjet, he has various videos and tells you, you can do this in 3 months. Study the Big Six, which involves physio, which involves clinical, org, psych, ethics, and there's a couple more in there. And so you do the Big Six, and you don't focus a whole lot of time on the other little modules and stuff. If you want to, you can, but they recommend the Big Six. That's what I focused on. I did a little bit of social psych, but just a little bit. I think I listened to the first lecture on social psych, and then I just didn't worry about it. So I just took it today. It was January 6th today, so it's literally been 3 months almost to the day that I studied and I passed. Now, let me tell you what my score was. I got a 500. You only need a 500. A lot of people, they get much better than that. You only need 500, which is 70%. I got exactly what I needed. So again, by the grace of God, I passed it the first time, and with that 500. And I'm just very thankful to the individuals at at Prepjet. I had a friend, I reached out to a few friends actually about what they were using, and all of them were saying Prepjet. I had a friend who helped me to understand sort of what she did to study, and I really thank you for that because it really helped me to understand that I didn't need to really study all of these things, this extra stuff, because it can be overwhelming. It's a lot of information, and so. You know, she sent me some notes and things like that, and it really helped me out. And so, you know, you can do it in 3 months. Um, Again, my first few exams, partial EPPP and full EPPP practice exams, were 34 and 35%. Literally consistently 34, 35%. So, um, I say that because I want you to know that if you're getting around that range, or if even if you're getting lower than that, you can literally still pass this in 3 months. Some people, depending on how much you're studying, you could probably do it even sooner than that. But it did take me to 3 months. Now, let me just say this. Prior to me really understanding how involved this test is, um, I I had my test scheduled for July 31st. When I understood how involved it was, I pushed it back to September. Then I pushed it back to December. Then I pushed it back to like January something. Then I pushed it back again to February 26th. By um, late December, I had gotten through the modules, and I was just kind of studying them, going back over them and studying them again. And so um, by that point, I was just like, okay, I'm tired. I studied 2.5 hours every single day, Sunday through Monday, 2.5 hours every day. There were very few days that I did not study or that I just took off, and I just was like, I had a job interview that I had to travel for. Still study. I studied on the plane. I studied in the airport, going there and coming back. And so 2.5 hours every single day was my schedule. And listen, I'm here and I passed it. So anybody who is taking it soon, if you're studying, if you're just beginning to prep for it, um, it is doable. Again, I use Prepjet. They were wonderful. And the thing about it is if you have questions, um, you can email them. They get back to you really quickly, and so I appreciate Prepjet. I really do. I appreciate all of the support. I want to thank my family too because they supported me. They encouraged me through all of this. So thank you to my family. Again, thank you, God. By the grace of God, I passed it. And again, this is somebody coming from a school psych background. So all of the clinical psych, all of the counseling psych and stuff like that, although I was familiar with some of these theories, right? Because I went to a clinical mental health counseling program. I went through that as well. And so I knew some of these theories, right? But a lot of it I did not know. I did it. I did the 3 months. I did the big six as is recommended by Prepjet, and I passed it. Got a 500, exactly what I needed to get. I didn't care if it was a 595, a 782. I didn't care about all that. I just needed to pass. The thing about it is that, and so right after I took it, I was not feeling confident that I passed. The guy at the test center, he came around the corner with one piece of paper, and so when I saw the one piece of paper, I knew I passed, because if you don't pass, then you get your test score, but then you also get a handout of, I guess they give you bars or something telling you what you didn't do well on, or whatever, things that you need to improve upon. So when I saw the one piece of paper, I thought, okay, thank you, God. I thank God immediately, because I was just like, okay, I know I passed. And then when I looked, I said 500. Okay, that's all I need. So, you only need to get that 500. For those in New York, it's 75. It'll give you both of those scaled scores on the printout. And so, listen, anybody who is studying for this currently, please reach out to me. I'm happy to talk with you. I'm happy to discuss the EPP with you. I'm happy to discuss my Prepjet study methods with you. I'm happy to help in any way, shape, or form I can, because I know that this test is stressful, and I know you've worked so hard the 4 or 5 or however many years it took for you to get through your doctoral program, and then you have to take the EPP. So please reach out to me if you have any questions. I'm trying to think about if there's anything else that I need to say here. It is a lot of information, but it's very doable. And again, I just really want to thank everybody that helped me, and and I just want to also encourage you all through this EPP process, and you definitely can do it. One of the things that you'll constantly hear from people is that they didn't think that they were passing it as they were taking the test. I felt the exact same way. I did not come out of that test room thinking that I passed. I got through those first few questions and I was feeling okay about it. And then I was like, I don't know how I'm going to pass this exam. Literally, when I submitted the exam, I thought, I'll be here again. I'll be here again taking this test. There were a lot of things that I did know, and but I didn't think it was enough. But I would say that I studied diligently. I did the best that I could, and the results, it paid off. Prepjet is a wonderful company. You all, some people, they use other test prep companies. I know there's the Psych Prep. I know that there's the AATBS. There's another one that's really popular. And I know that there are several others that people use, but I use Prepjet, and I did the 3 months, and I passed. So just wanted to encourage you all. Just wanted to tell you all my journey to it through the studying for the for the EPP, and thank you all for being on my journey throughout this time. You all have seen me go through, even before I started my doctoral program, through preparing for dissertation, through now getting through the EPP, and now getting my full license as a psychologist. So thank you all. If you have any questions, please reach out. Thank you.